Today, the Justice Department announced one of its largest financial seizures ever. 50,000 stolen Bitcoin, at the time worth more than $3 billion.
Imagine stealing billions of dollars from a dark web market and hiding it for years. Sounds like a movie plot, right? But it's not. It's what James Zhong did with Bitcoin he hacked from Silk Road in 2012. How did he do it? And how did the IRS catch him? Come, let's find out. One of the biggest cryptocurrency seizures ever happened in November 2021 when IRS criminal investigation took 50,676 Bitcoins from James Zhong, who admitted to wire fraud. He'd stolen that Bitcoin from Silk Road, a darknet market, in September 2012. The Bitcoin was worth $3.36 billion at the time of the seizure. The IRS CI agents and the DOJ lawyers who worked on this investigation deserve our praise, as they got Zhong to plead guilty. Aaron Bryce from Chain Analysis helped them with the case, using Chain Analysis Reactor and other special tools to track Zhong's money laundering activities and doing forensic database analysis to find Zhong and build evidence against him. Next, we'll tell you more about how Zhong stole the Bitcoin, how he tried to hide it, and how the investigation unfolded. Silk Road was the first big darknet market that used crypto, and it made up more than 20% of Bitcoin's daily economy when it was at its best. Ross Ulbricht, who ran Silk Road, got caught in 2013, but James Zhong, who took 50,000 Bitcoin from Silk Road in 2012, stayed free until November 2021. Zhong stole the Bitcoin by finding a mistake in how Silk Road let vendors take out their Bitcoin. The DOJ said that Zhong made a fake vendor account on Silk Road just to do this, and he never sold anything. He put between 200 and 2,000 Bitcoins in each account, and then he quickly took out the same amount many times. He did this for several days and fooled Silk Road into giving him more Bitcoin than he put in, and he ended up with 50,000 Bitcoin. Zhong also got 50,000 Bitcoin Cash, the same as he stole in Bitcoin, when Bitcoin Cash split from Bitcoin in 2017. He traded that 50,000 Bitcoin Cash for 3,500 Bitcoin, making his total illegal Bitcoin 53,500. Some of this was also taken by the authorities later. Zhong tried to sell some of the stolen Bitcoin at a crypto exchange in 2020. He made a mistake and used an address that got money from the Silk Road hack and another address that was easy to link to him in the same transaction. This let the investigators know that he had both addresses. The exchange also gave the police the KYC and IP data of the account that did these transactions, which also pointed to Zhong. The police searched Zhong's house in Gainesville, Georgia in November 2021 and found 50,491 Bitcoin on devices in a floor safe and in a popcorn can under some blankets. They also found more than 660,000 in cash, metals, and 25 Pisidious coins, which are coins with Bitcoin keys inside them. Zhong gave up another 861 Bitcoins in March 2022 and May 2022. He said he was guilty of wire fraud for this theft in November 2022, and he got a prison sentence of a little more than a year in April 2023. The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, and the IRS CI Los Angeles Field Office Chief, Tyler Hatcher, said that James Zhong admitted to wire fraud. He stole over 50,000 Bitcoin from Silk Road, a dark website, in September 2012. Zhong said he was guilty on Friday, November 4, 2022, to U.S. District Judge Paul G. Gardeffi. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said James Zhong stole about 50,000 Bitcoins from Silk Road with wire fraud more than 10 years ago. This huge amount of lost Bitcoin became a $3.3 billion mystery for almost a decade. But law enforcement found and took back this big stash of crime money, thanks to cutting-edge crypto tracking and old-school detective work. This case proves that we will keep chasing the money no matter how well hidden, even in popcorn tin circuit boards. IRS CI Special Agent in charge Tyler Hatcher said Mr. Zhong made a clever plan to take Bitcoin from an infamous Silk Road market. After his robbery, he tried to cover his tracks with complicated transactions and hide in the darknet. IRS CI Special Agents are the best at following the money online or anywhere else. We're going to work with our U.S. Attorney's Office friends to catch these crooks and make them pay. IRS CI is part of the IRS, which is part of the U.S. government. The IRS collects taxes from people and businesses in the U.S. Taxes are money that people and businesses pay to the government for public services like roads, schools, and health care. IRS CI is a group of special agents who investigate crimes related to taxes and money. They look for people who cheat on their taxes or who use money for illegal things like drugs, corruption, or terrorism. They also look for people who steal other people's identities or money. IRS CI works with other law enforcement agencies like the FBI and the DEA to catch criminals and bring them to justice. They use advanced tools and methods to track money movements and find evidences of crimes. They also work with other countries to fight global tax crimes. They've been around since 1919 and have a long history of solving important cases. They have a high rate of success in getting criminals convicted in court. IRSCI's mission is to serve the American public by enforcing tax laws and preventing financial crimes. They want to make sure that everyone pays their fair share of taxes and that no one uses money for harmful purposes. They want to protect the tax system and the people who rely on it. When talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are two types of digital money that you can use on the internet. Any government or company does not control them, but the people who use them. They work by using a special technology called blockchain, which is like a big book that records all the transactions that happen with this money. Bitcoin was the first type of digital money that used blockchain. It was created in 2009 by someone who called himself Satoshi Nakamoto. Bitcoin became very popular because it was fast, cheap, and secure to send and receive money online. However, as more people started using Bitcoin, it also faced some problems. One of the problems was that Bitcoin could only process a limited number of transactions per second. This meant that sometimes it took a long time for transactions to be confirmed, and sometimes these fees were very high. Some people wanted to change the rules of Bitcoin to make it faster and cheaper, while others wanted to keep it the same. This led to a disagreement among the Bitcoin community, and in 2017, they decided to split into two groups. One group followed the original rules of Bitcoin, and the other group created a new type of digital money called Bitcoin Cash. This is called a fork because it is like a fork in the road where two paths diverge. Bitcoin Cash is similar to Bitcoin, but it has some differences. The main difference is that Bitcoin Cash allows bigger blocks in its blockchain than Bitcoin. This means that it can process more transactions per second, making it faster and cheaper. However, some people argue that bigger blocks also have some drawbacks, such as making the blockchain bigger and harder to store. Both Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash have their supporters and critics, and they compete for users and value. They're both still evolving and trying to improve their technology and features. You can choose which one you want to use based on your preferences and needs. So, what is a Silk Road? Silk Road was a website where people could buy and sell things that were illegal or hard to find. It was on the dark web, which is part of the internet that is hidden and needs special software to access. The dark web has many websites that offer different kinds of products and services, some legal and some illegal. Silk Road was started in 2011 by a person who calls himself Dread Pirate Roberts. They wanted to create a place where people could trade freely and anonymously without being watched or controlled by the government or anyone else. People who use Silk Road had to pay with digital money called Bitcoin, which is not controlled by any bank or country. Bitcoin helps people hide their identity and protect their privacy. People could buy and sell things like drugs, weapons, fake IDs, hacking tools, and more on Silk Road. No one can justify stealing money by saying it came from crime. This case proves how good law enforcement has become at finding and taking cryptocurrency used for crime, even if criminals hide it well and did it a long time ago. The blockchain never goes away, so investigators can always check old, shady transactions with new methods. James Zhong stole 50,000 Bitcoin from Silk Road, a dark website for illegal goods. He hid them for years under his floor, but the IRS found him and seized his fortune. How did they do it? And what will happen to him now? Comment your thoughts and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.